His nickname is Superbad.
Oh, I hope we don't lose everything. I'm gonna feel like a jackass.
What kind of things do they do in an establishment called Still? Pretty sure she gets a lot of comments about how effing hot she is, so she's probably tired of him. But
Well, you kind of had to suspect that that's what was going on anyway.
there's no reason he shouldn't have qualified. I guess he did crash kind of twice.
Throwing
Yes.
that at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
This is the Talkin Moto podcast. Welcome, everyone, to the Talkin Moto podcast, presented by MB1 Suspension. We're coming at you live Monday, March 17th, 2014. Detroit Supercross Round 11 is in the books, and we'd like to thank everyone for helping out with the podcast. MB1 Suspension, Fine Tune Motorsports, Motokazi, Hardline MX, Minnesota District 23, Spring Creek MX Park, The Bicycle Works, The Damn Bait Shop, The Open Mic Podcast, Team J-Law, Racing, and SKD. This is Scott, and help co-host the show, we got Jason Jeff giving up another Monday night for this awesome event that we're having. Welcome, boys.
Hello.
Hot dog!
Oh, God.
What up, fellas?
Well, the first thing we're going to do is get rid of that dang chair so we don't have to listen to that again.
Throw that thing out on the curb or something.
Ugh. Whew. Nothing like some last-minute preparations.
Yeah.
Preparation H?
Whoa. Let's keep it clean.
What's going on at Jeff's house tonight?
I'm feeling Irish.
me and Jason were just kind of talking about this. It's like, do people really need a reason to drink? So let's have, I don't know. I didn't have any beer though, or anything.
I got my green beer sitting right here.
I have some lemonade.
I got my corned beef in the crock pot, and my cabbage is on the stove. So let's go. Let's get this over with so I can eat.
That sounds disgusting.
I agree.
It's actually making me very hungry. I wish it was all true.
All right. What'd you guys think of the racing?
Detroit lit.
Ooh, right off the bat, huh?
Yeah. Well, no love lost for Detroit in my eyes.
You know, they were kind of bashing it today online. And I don't know, I think it's kind of funny, like, you know, like they say how it's all run down and everything else. And, but yet it's coming back, you know what I mean? Didn't they announce it and already selling tickets for next year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
They're
they're
signed.
coming back next year.
I didn't think the turnout was very good either, but I guess I don't know what the numbers were, but from what it sounded like, there wasn't a lot of people there, and I mean, the track sucked, so what do you expect?
Oh, they made some interesting comments about that, I think, with talking about how, you know, for football or whatever, you know, the local people obviously know that that's actually a decent area. There's decent parking, you know, and all that. But Supercross kind of draws in a completely different crowd and people from a broader range. So maybe you had more people from farther away that were just going to, you know, we're thinking Detroit, I'm not going there. The hell with it. I'll watch it on TV. It's better on TV anyway.
Yeah.
What, speaking of TV, what did you think of the late start?
I probably wouldn't have minded so much if we hadn't gone riding on Saturday and I was already struggling to keep my eyes open by the time the mains rolled around.
I agree. Way too late. I mean, it wasn't the end of the world. It'd be fine if you had something. I had nothing to do from the time I got home at what time was it? Like 7,
Yeah, something
6
like
or
that.
something. So I almost felt like taking a damn nap because I knew I was gonna be up till 1.
Yeah, it was pretty late. Yeah, and then I tried to do a good job of staying off of Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is probably a little tougher, I guess. I did that to Jason. I think a couple weeks ago. I made a super bad comment and he yelled at me.
Yeah, you jerk.
But yeah, I mean, I think just having to stay away so you don't know who wins. But I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely. I think it was 1:30. I think by the time I went to bed and.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. I because I have no life, I watched the rebroadcast yesterday, and it was amazing. By the time the mains rolled around, I was almost asleep again. So maybe it was just the race. Maybe I wasn't that tired.
That certainly didn't help keep us on the edge of our seat or anything.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, me and Jason kind of touched on this earlier. It's like I thought the racing was pretty good up until the main events, and then after that, nothing really jumped out at me that was, super exciting.
Yeah, I actually felt like the heat racing was fairly decent. There's definitely some entertainment there, but I don't know. The mains were just a snooze fest. I don't know if it was just because the track was completely gone by that point and everybody was just slipping and sliding and just happy to be finishing, or what the deal was exactly. But I don't know. It was weird.
Jeff, I was thinking about one of your comments earlier was, maybe I'd like not to lose like a heat race or the LCQs, but I'm kind of leaning towards, if they do like the 2 main events, I think would help, but
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess to me, what the problem that I see right now is that the tracks have just been the guys are out there tiptoeing around trying not to fall down, and that's all they're doing basically. I don't understand. I guess what it's going to take to get some new dirt, or I don't know. I just feel like the heat races, it's pretty good. Like you said, the guys were actually able to push it, and they had looked like it was pretty tacky. I mean, it looked terrible in practice. It looked like a gravel pit, and then they prepped it and got it ready for the main, and then by the time the main event rolled around, or the night show, I should say, and then by the time the main rolled around, it was a gravel pit again, slippery as can be, and
what was the deal with the curb in front of the starting gate? I still have not heard an explanation on why they did that. Does anybody know why they did it?
I wonder if it had something to do with. I mean, I wonder if it had something to do with the field surface underneath. Maybe they had to build it up right there or something. I mean, there is. I don't understand what else you would do with that.
Well, the only other thing I thought of was it supposed to be some kind of a deterrent to keep, because the starting gate was right there, was it to keep people from going into the starting gate out of that corner? It didn't work if that was it, because people were hopping it the whole time anyway. And
Well, wasn't that the mechanics lane though? Right? Don't they pull out all them barriers?
yeah, they did, but I don't know. It just seems so stupid to me. I don't understand what the reason was for it.
Well, if it was intended to be a berm, it was in the wrong spot because.
Well, yeah, it was in the middle of the
everyone
track.
hopped over it.
Yeah.
And it looked like in practice, what little bit of practice I watched, guys were getting kind of crossed up on it, a little cross rutted, and it didn't look like it was much fun at all.
Yeah, I thought it was funny in practice when we were watching. I thought it was a rut that was formed there. I didn't know that they did it on purpose. I haven't heard an explanation for it, and I think it was just stupid. I just don't understand it at all.
I kind of figured they just did that so then the guys would have maybe something to bank off of. But
Well, there was a berm in the corner. I don't know. It made no sense to me. To me, it was more of a hazard than anything, because you get crossed up on that stupid thing, and who knows where you're going, especially with as slippery as it was to begin with.
I like it.
Well, fine.
I just kind of thought, I could care either way, but I thought they kind of made a maybe talked about it too much as far as like, a shifting point for them, or how are they going to navigate dropping off that little ledge? Wasn't it not that long ago? Like they used to go like halfway down the straightaway and then they'd launch off of something. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, they could put like a roller on the straightaway.
a roller, or I thought I remember not almost being more not like a jump, but you'd actually get both tires off the ground, but not a roller though. But not as
I have a hard time thinking it could have been a shift point because wasn't it like 8 feet out? I mean,
Well, I have to agree. I mean, they kept talking about that, but every time they showed a start in slow-mo, everybody's feet were still dragging on the ground by the time they went over it. So to me, it was way too early to be a shift point, and I didn't see anybody doing it. So I don't know.
maybe they start in like fifth gear or something like a tractor.
Maybe they were downshifting there.
yeah, they were starting to break for the corner there.
That could be.
Hang on here.
What do you think about the section going up into the stands?
I thought it was cool. Something different.
That's the only thing it really is something different. It's not.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Why,
Sorry.
why don't they make it like a, instead of just a stupid collarbone, why don't they make it an actual obstacle? Maybe they can't. I mean, you think that they could do like a step up on there or something? I think that'd be cool.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, why does it have to be? First of all, you have to reroute the track so it goes into the stands. At least they changed it. The first track layout just looked dumb, the way they had that chicane and then it was going to go up there. At least they switched that around to make it better. But still, you reroute the track to go up into this collarbone thing that doesn't do anything except slingshot you back into the stadium. When I agree, it would have been sweet. You have a step up going up, make the turn, and then you step back off coming down. That would be awesome. Like you say, maybe they can't do that, but Christ, they're running a skid loader up there, so why can't they do something like that?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I wonder if it's the equipment that limits them, because I'd love to see how they build that, being kind of a technical kind of guy like that. I'm curious if they built a platform above the seats or what they did.
That sure looked like that's what they did. I guess I don't know, but I was just kind of disappointed, and everybody made such a big deal about it. And it's like, whoop-de-doo. To me, it was nothing, but whatever. Made for one hell of a sweet crash. But
Yeah.
I am glad that they switched it from like the track map. Like,
oh, that was so dumb.
if it would have stayed like that, people would have been. I think nothing against dirt bikers. I just don't think they would have figured that out. Or
Obviously they would have put tough blocks in the way.
Right.
So, it's not like they would have left it wide open like it showed in the track map, because then, it would have just been death. But
I wish I'd have seen this track map. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
basically the chicane and the first turn were swapped, whereas the way the track was for the race, where the first turn went inside of where the chicane was.
Yeah.
Instead, the way the track map showed it was the first turn was going to be on the other side of the chicane. So you were going to cut like that first turn and go into the chicane and then cross the first turn again to go up into the stands.
Yeah, I could see some people maybe messing that up and taking the start way.
Yeah, it was really, really dumb. I mean, the first thing I thought when I saw it is, you got to be kidding me. Who drew this up on a cocktail napkin?
Oh, that's funny.
I'd rather see an over-under bridge, Scott, than that thing.
Why not an over-under bridge into the stands?
Well, there you go.
Huh?
Why
That's
not
it.
Into the.
Let's take this thing on the road. Lee Tice, I need to borrow your dozer and a skid loader. We're going to go outdo Supercross right now.
So what you want is a little Supercross and Nitro Circus combined into racing?
No, not necessarily. I think there's something that could be done there without it being too crazy.
Don't say that to Feld. That's what we'll have next. It'll be a freestyle show and a. Plus, they'll probably drive out some monster trucks and crush some people.
And we'll be jumping wheelchairs out of the stands.
I think it's funny. One of the quotes from, I think, Pastrana, he's whatever. One of his videos, he's like, "Yeah, I always plan on coming out of it unharmed." It's just like crazy bastard.
Dude.
All right, so let's get to some racing action. I thought it was pretty cool that Jesse Wetland got ninth in the heat, and he got a little bit of TV time, and so I thought that was pretty cool. Jason, you kind of touched on it a little bit with Starling kind of crashing coming down the chicane.
Yeah, that was wicked. And I don't understand why. Not only the fact that the tough blocks only went, halfway up into that, but then there's like this massive hole on the right side of that too. Like, it was just asking for somebody to get too far over and to be sucked down into them tough blocks. To me, it was just waiting to happen.
Well, not to mention the fact that every rider was flirting with that edge, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like they were all just riding right up against them things. So
I don't know how the hell he lived through that. that was gnarly.
Yeah, like like you're riding, your thought is nothing probably thinking about that tough block, and then all of a sudden it just like reaches out and grabs you, and it's like, oh man, because he was in a transfer, wasn't he, like fourth or fifth when that happened?
He was right up there. I don't remember exactly where he was, but he was right up front. Surprised that he didn't get completely run over or take out a bunch of other people with him.
Yeah, it looked like he took a pretty good digger.
Yeah.
I give it a 10.
It was a 10 for sure.
I really wish my chair didn't make those funny noises.
Would you throw it away?
No, but my stool's too high.
Oh. Stand then.
I kind of am. I thought this was a pretty weird stat, that Alex Martin was the only Yamaha in the top 10.
I kind of had a pretty good laugh about that when they showed the results on
wasn't
TV. It was just red and one stripe of blue.
I was gonna say, in the heat race, even odder than that is every other one of them was a Honda.
Yep.
Let's see here. Jeff, did you see or hear anything as to what happened to Jeremy in Heat 1? As to why he was way back?
Went down off the start, from what I understand, I guess.
I didn't see. I must have been sleeping. I didn't.
I don't think they showed it. I saw it. Actually, I saw a post that I think put up. So.
Is someone throwing building blocks at your face?
Sorry, that was me.
That's okay.
Well, then he had that moment in the LCQ. He was leading it and then tipped over, and I thought, oh boy.
He like flipped over in a corner. Didn't he almost go over the handlebars, or did it just wash the front end out? It kind of flipped up, didn't it?
I think it kind of washed and then maybe stuck and popped him up off of there. I don't remember if that was the one that I'm thinking of, or
I don't remember what exactly happened.
I know he went down and finished third in the LCQ.
Yeah, it was like the last lap, and yeah, he comes around the corner and it just whoop. I was like, oh man.
Telling you, outdoor testing.
Yep, get on it. Well, it was kind of cool that, he did save it, got into the main, and, pretty cool for him and Alex to be right next to each other like they were.
Yeah, I saw a photo. I don't know where it was, but it was them two going down in front of that curb.
Yeah, MX Matt has a couple of pretty good pictures of them.
Okay. He must have had something happen in the main too, because he was like in last and came back to 8th or something. So he had a pretty good ride.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a bad start or what. That's the problem with watching it on TV. You only get to see what they show on TV, and half the time, actually more than half the time, that's not what I want to be watching.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny. I caught an interview today, and I think Jeremy must have passed him on like the last corner of the last lap to get him right at the finish line. So they're like, why'd you let your brother pass you on the last lap? He's like, he's kind of had a bad season, so I thought I'd give him one or something like that. I thought
what a brother.
I thought that was pretty funny.
That's a little bit different story than what Mathis tells on the podcast, the review or whatever that they do.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
He said Alex had said that he had such bad arm pump he was lucky to even make the last turn.
Oh, jeez.
Yikes.
I don't know. I gotta believe that these tracks has got to make it tough when you're riding. I'm sure you're so much tenser knowing that they're, it's super slippery and a little too much throttle here, and you're gonna wash out. And I don't know. Just frustrating watching guys race a track and not race each other.
It is, but I guess I've kind of come to the conclusion. What do you do about it? I mean, it's not like Feld has a whole lot of control over, what they bring in for dirt or that. I mean, how do you take that kind of material and build a track? There seems to be a lot of talk today about how boring that track was and how it wasn't really challenging anybody. Well, in that case, the dirt itself was challenging people,
Yeah, I think the layout was the boring part. I mean, the obstacles were pretty basic, I think. I don't remember there being anything unique. There was that one rhythm lane after the stand section that you could have a couple options through.
Yeah.
But everything else looked pretty, I don't know, just pretty ho-hum.
Yeah, just kind of basically your cookie cutter Supercross track.
See, no.
I don't think it was always this way, though. I don't think the dirt was always terrible. And it seems like it's a topic of discussion every week now because the track looks terrible.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I must have been watching Arena Cross or something because, I thought it was fine, So it's like today when I'm listening to the podcast and reading online and everyone's saying the track was horrible, and it's just like, I don't know. I guess I don't know if there is an answer. Because it sounded like Stewart said he thought the track sucked, and it's like, well, if the guy that won the race thought it sucked, but it's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, it's either hard pack, or it's soft and rutted, or Daytona. It's just like, I don't know that anyone's ever gonna be happy. No,
I think it's become a very popular thing to complain about, and sure, you can blame the track a little bit or whatever, but it all goes back to everybody has to ride the same track. And I guess, like I said before, I thought through the heat races, I thought the racing was great. I don't know if it was just because the track completely went to complete dog crap or what, but I thought we were actually going to have some decent racing in those first heat races. After watching practice, I had no hope for that at all. I figured it was just going to be get in line and pray to God you live through the night.
Yeah, and that's another week I didn't get to catch any practice.
Well, we were doing some practicing of our own, so.
You can watch it anytime, Scotty. They archive it, so you can just pull it up and.
Yeah.
Pull it up and pull it out.
I never watch it when it's on because I can't stand all the filler that they put in it. So I usually wait till it's almost over, and then I just blast through usually the A and B groups. So
I did watch some of it because it was Reed's birthday, and those guys gave him like a donut or something like that.
Yeah, they gave him a cake.
Well, Ralph gave him the cake.
Yeah, this was like they gave him. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I seen the one on TV, but yeah, they gave him. Yeah, it was a donut, I think, with like one candle on it.
The donut was probably better than the cake. That cake looked like crap. Reed just kind of looked at it like,
yeah, I'm not eating that.
I'm not eating that.
That's funny.
What
I
were
liked how I liked how they brought Reed into the booth and then Wyndham just kind of disappeared. We were speculating on whether they killed him or if he was off eating the cake by himself or what happened.
He was getting a hot dog.
Hot dog!
All right, what's with the hot dog?
You missed the hot dog?
Yeah.
I was when I was watching it again yesterday, I heard it again. I laughed my ass off.
Oh.
I don't remember exactly when it was. I think it was like at the end of the 250 main, maybe. I don't know if it was a vendor or what, but it sounded like somebody grabbed Ralph's mic and just went, hot dog!
We'll have to.
I think that's what inspired dinner tonight for us. We had hot dogs tonight. So.
Oh,
I haven't even had dinner yet.
I had a piece of toast.
Did you dip it in some water at least?
No.
Oh.
I shared it with the dog.
Oh. You're living pretty high off the hog over there.
I am. Look out. I'm on my prison diet.
Trying to make weight or what? You're going to fall away.
Huh?
Stiff breeze is going to blow you over.
Yeah, what else is new?
Well, let's see. Hopefully, we got our guest. Got Clayton coming on from the old FTM.
Fine tune.
So, I don't know if anyone has some suspension questions.
I've got a list
Nice.
ready to go here.
My question is, what is suspension?
I don't know, but I'm full of it. Let's get Clayton in here. The suspense is killing me.
All right. Hopefully he answers. All right, hang on here. Let's try to get him in here.
It's time for the weekly segment. What are you wearing?
Jeff?
You heard my answer.
No, I didn't. Your answer was nothing. Does that mean you're wearing nothing?
Yeah.
That's why you didn't want to go in the basement, because it's so cold down there. It's all coming together.
I don't need that kind of depression right now.
I thought maybe it was because if you were in the basement, you were going to be all freaked out again when some random guy comes wandering in your house.
We welcome random guys wandering in, or my wife does anyway.
I've noticed. Especially when they show up in sweet vans.
What's going on, Clayton?
Oh, not much.
Nice. Well, welcome to the Talkin Moto podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.
He was one of our first backers in Cleveland. Yeah. Nice to have you, buddy.
Thanks. Yeah, glad to be part of it for sure.
So how busy are you?
Oh, we're getting swamped now that we had a couple nice days.
I suppose it's too late to sneak my suspension into the front.
It's never too late to sneak them in. The front's the hard part, though. So, yeah. Yeah, no, we've been picking up really good. Some of the spring races have started and everything, so that's helping us out, too, a ton.
Do you do a lot of like, I don't know how to put it, I guess, outstate, like non-local work? Do you get a lot of stuff that you ship in to take care of, or are you more just locally?
We kind of got about like a 6 to 8 area, and we've got some real loyal customers that have moved out of states that still ship everything back to us. So we get a bunch of sets shipped in every week to us, so
nice.
That keeps us going as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yep.
I was getting a drink of my nice cold lemonade. So now I think, Clayton, one of the cool things is you go to just about every district race, don't you? You're busy all summer long, right?
We are busy all summer, yep. We try to get a race every weekend and some of the supercrosses and stuff like that throughout the week as well, so. Yep.
Yep. So I think that's cool that you're there, I know I probably did it 100 times when I used to ride, but, come swing by your well, you didn't have your box fan, your big one, but, help dial you in and get you back out there.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the biggest advantages to any kind of suspension guy you're going to use is somebody that's local to you that can help you dial everything in at the tracks you're riding. Yeah.
I think that's awesome that you're always around. You're definitely a familiar face at the Minnesota tracks, and I've never let you touch my stuff. That'll probably change, but you're always around to give people advice whether you did the work or not, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, yep, and we will help you, whether you got stock stuff or somebody else's stuff. We are always glad to help you and get you going up and running, We want you to have the best experience you can at all our tracks and just keep people happy is the key.
Right on.
What kind of stuff can you do at the track? I mean, what's the extent of the work you can perform at the track?
We can do everything at the track as far as suspension goes. The only issue we run into once in a while is if somebody's got something broken internally. We try to stock as much as we can on the truck, but some of the oddball stuff we don't stock. We obviously don't stock any of the outer tubes or some of the internal parts we don't stock neither. But as far as springs and revalves and seals, all that stuff we've got right on the truck and we can put at the track.
Nice.
So if a guy's got your suspension, your valves in there, and he wants to make a change, what's the process? I mean, he brings it to you, and you take the valve out and do some shimming, or how's that work?
Yep, for sure. The thing is like, especially with our stuff, is you will never pay for valving again. So, I mean, even if you've had the bike for 10 years and you want to make a change, you just do an oil change, and any valving adjustments or anything you want to change would be free to you at that point. But, yeah, you just bring it over, and we'll kind of talk about what the bike's doing, make an assessment from that point, and make changes as needed. Everything, like I said, we can do that right at the track for the riders.
What if you're a bad test rider and can't explain what's going on? Is that something that you can help with?
That is something we can help with. Sometimes that gets hard, like Saturday practice of the races. We've got a lot of people in that situation, and we also got a lot of younger kids that really don't know how to explain it to you. What the bike's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take an afternoon or a couple hours or whatever it takes, and just go out to a track. And the way we kind of start is we'd run your compressions all the way in and then run them all the way soft and do the same thing with the rebound. And what that'll do for us is they can start kind of feeling and telling us what a stiff feeling is, what a soft feeling is, and then same thing rebound-wise. And so once they kind of know what they're looking for and what they're feeling, then they can relay that information back to me.
I see.
All right, Clayton, and I talked to you earlier, but I think we'll do something maybe on Facebook. So anyone listening, you're just going to have to go to our Facebook page at Talkin Moto. And Clayton sent me a couple goodie bags. So you'll get a T-shirt. We got a couple Pro Action stickers. We got a little tape measure, I'm assuming, for helping adjust your sag and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you might have to help me with this one, Clayton. The seal mate, is that just so you can kind of run that on your seals to get some of the dirt out of there? Is that what that little plastic thing's for?
Yep, that is what it's for. And the best way to do that is actually you kind of take and pop your dust cover down, and you take and run that up around in there. Any dirt or mud that's worked its way into your steel, it'll try to pull that out. And then what you'd want to do is take a little bit of contact cleaner, clean that up good. Then we sent you some grease as well. And then you apply a thin layer of grease around that seal, pop your dust cover back up.
Cripes, everything you need.
Oh, it gets
everything.
It gets better.
I wish I was eligible for this.
Because the other thing that you sent out was the little bleeders. So on your tops of your forks, you don't have to, like what I always do is, use your screwdriver and pull that little screw out to let all the air out, and then you drop the darn thing.
Yep.
So now you don't have to. Yep. You just take that screw out and you screw these in there, and then you just pretty much hit a little button.
That's right, yeah. That's one of the probably the biggest overlooked things people forget about is bleeding the air off your forks. So yeah.
So we'll get something up on Facebook, and then we got enough. I think there's 2 of everything in there, so we'll get something drawn up, and then we'll give those away on Facebook for you.
I like it.
So thanks for sending that stuff.
You bet.
What else you got cooking? Just busy? Okay, so I guess the other thing, you're not just suspensions. You sell a lot of other things at your shop, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you got.
We can.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we try to carry, like on stock. We try to carry everything that anybody could break or would need on their way to the track. And we can definitely order anything in people would need.
All right, Clayton, I'm going to change it up on you here. We have a listener that wants to know why you are not on Twitter.
Oh.
Not Twitter. That is tough. It's a full-time gig being on Twitter and Facebook. So, yeah, we just haven't made it that far yet. We're going to have to expand, I think.
I know it's... At first, I didn't really think it was that big a deal, but I mean, it's a lot tougher than I think people think, or maybe they don't think about it, and so.
Yeah, it's just it's time consuming to keep up on stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can come home and start hammering out some stuff, and then it's just like, oh, I haven't done anything, but I think it's a good tool to have, though.
Right, for sure. Yep, agree.
But okay, sorry. So you got your oils. You carry a pretty good line of parts in there too, right? Or you can get just about everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry if you just said that, because you're is it a Rocky Mountain? Is that what?
No, we carry we got parts unlimited stuff. We got Tucker Rocky, and then we got WPS as well on board.
Perfect. Nice.
Yep. Yeah.
What else you guys got for the Suspension Master?
Well,
I know Jason's got a list, but I'm going to get mine in first here.
Okay.
I'm just curious how much, like the air forks have changed what you do. I mean, is that something that really opens up the suspension to new possibilities, or is it? How do you feel about them? I guess.
I like them. I think they're a good thing, but that's a tough question there. Like for the average rider, they might be a little too much maintenance or too much work almost,
Huh?
All the time we run across people that we help them set their bike up. It's all stock, and we ask them what they're running for fork pressure, and they ask me what I'm talking about. And they've had it for 3 months, and they've never checked the fork pressure, So I think they're a real good thing. You've got a lot of adjustment, and it's a external adjustment, but you got to know what you're doing, and you can't be afraid to do it.
I guess that's kind of been my take on it. I kind of pretend to be an amateur suspension guy. I try to do a lot of the stuff myself. And when I look at the way the air fork works and all that, I agree with you. I think it's a cool technology, but I think for the average bike owner, I just don't think that the understanding is there to actually be able to set that up and make it work like it's supposed to work for the average rider.
Yep. That's exactly what's going on, and even like the owner's manual, it doesn't quite go through it like a person would like to understand it, So, yeah, they need to just kind of get some more information and education out there for riders, and I think people would really like that setup.
What do you think as far as not necessarily a maintenance standpoint, but I guess I don't know how to put it. As far as them standing up to the abuse that that more of a hydraulic suspension stands up to. You hear a lot of guys blowing out air forks and stuff like that, and when that happens, you're kind of screwed. Whereas if you blow a seal on a hydraulic fork, you you're not necessarily done for the day. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yep, you're kind of right there, because if you do blow a seal, you're losing pressure, and that's the issue there. And we ran across people doing that too, where they've actually switched back to a spring setup just for that reason,
Mm-hmm.
But if you stayed on top of your maintenance and you got into a routine where you were rebuilding your forks like they were supposed to be rebuilt and replacing seals and bushings at that time,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably not going to have an issue. But there again, the average rider is not rebuilding their forks like they're supposed to be rebuilt.
Yep. And that's one of the things that I was going to bring up. I think suspension is one of the most overlooked maintenance issues with any bike. And, maybe just give us a quick rundown on what we should be doing with our bikes instead of taking them, having them revalved, and then we ride them and put 100 hours on them without ever touching them again.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, You see people all the time that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on kit suspension, and they'll sell it to one of their buddies, or they'll keep it for 2 years and never rebuild the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From my point of view, I think you'd be better off rebuilding your stuff every 20-25 hours and keeping it fresh so it works well,
Yeah.
That'd be money better spent. But yeah, kind of to answer your question, you should be doing about 20 to 25 hours on an oil change for your forks and right around the 40-hour mark on your shock.
That seems like about ballpark. And it's funny, if you actually just get a service manual for your bike, all that's in there. A lot of the stock stuff, it seems actually they recommend it more often than that. But that's always seemed crazy to me. Everybody makes such a big deal about, I got my suspension revalved, and then they never touch it again. And it's like, it's not hard to do. Shocks are a different story. Shocks, you have to bring them to you, to get them recharged and whatnot. But it seems like it's a major overlook as far as most riders go.
Right, it's one of those things that out of sight, out of mind, They don't know anything until they got oil leaking on their brake pads. And yeah.
You mean that's not good?
That's not good. You go faster, that's for sure.
It keeps your brakes cooler.
Oh.
Because there's no friction there.
I just thought that was a confidence booster when you come into a corner and you can't stop, that you just got to make sure you make the corner.
Yeah.
Oh.
So another question I have for you, Clayton. First thing I did, I bought I talked to you at Kellogg last fall, right after I bought a 2012 CRF 250, and bought it used. First thing I did was toss the stock suspension because I hated it. Threw in an Olin setup, and basically I know it needs some work. Is that because it's not a factory suspension, it's not a Pro Action suspension, is that something that you would still look at and go through and tune up for me?
Yeah, we would definitely take a look at that. We know a couple of guys right out at Olin's, and yeah, we can definitely help you get that working properly for you.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. We see it all the time where you get kind of a idea of how to set a bike up, and then you get it set up, but they're not always happy with it. You don't quite know their riding style, or they switch their riding style a little bit, and you got to go and reevaluate things and make it work properly for them. So that's a big key point right there.
Yeah, it's kind of what I struggled with it. I really like it. I really like the shock. I think it's awesome, but the forks I'm struggling with a little bit. And I guess, like I said, just kind of wondering, I know it's an Olin setup. It's not something that you deal with probably every day, but just like I said, just wondering if that's something you'd help guys out with. But it sounds like that's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Be glad to help you out.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know Scott kind of made a comment to me last week after the show. We were talking for a little bit, and he brought up the fact that it seems like there's so many suspension guys, especially in this area now. And I agree with him. It seems like everybody and their dog is getting into the suspension business. And, not that I ever jumped into it to get into the business, but just because it's something that's always intrigued me. Do you see that kind of happening where there's more and more competition out there all the time as far as guys who will do suspensions?
Yeah, yep. It seems like it kind of goes in waves, back when the sport was really big a couple of years ago, there was a bunch of people doing suspension, and only a couple of us stuck it out. And now, again, like you said, there's probably 6 to 10 guys doing suspension consistently,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and it's a good thing for the sport, so hopefully that means the numbers are coming back around and more people are riding. But
Well, that's what I would hope. It kind of seems funny to me that, and maybe it's just because I pay more attention to it now, but that there are so many guys out there doing it. It doesn't seem like we have the rider base that we had, 5 years ago to back it all up. But like I say, maybe that's just because I'm paying more attention to it these days.
Yep. Yeah, it's like we've seen a couple people just doing it on the side. They'll do it in the evenings and then they'll do it once in a while on the weekends. There again, like they probably know what they're doing and they do a good job, but it's having somebody there to help you set it up is a big thing. And we do see people that come with their suspension and asking me to help them get it dialed in for them, and like I said again, we're always glad to help them, but we want to keep people happy and hopefully they choose to go with us,
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Clayton, what would you say is as far as suspension work goes, what do you think is more important if you're on a tight budget, which most of us are? Would you spend your money, if you only had $250, would you spend your money on springs or valving, or what would be, obviously in a perfect world you'd get it both, but what's more important in your eyes?
Springs for sure. Your valving's not going to work properly if you don't have the right springs in there. It's either your springs are going to be too soft and the valving won't hold you up at all, so you're just going to blow right down through everything anyhow, or the other end of the spectrum, your springs are going to be too stiff and then you're riding all the way up on top and you're not using your valving to control the flow at all.
Okay.
So yeah, you definitely got to have it sprung properly before you can even valve it at all.
All right.
I've always kind of seen that too, where everybody makes such a big deal about valving all the time, and I think the spring rates are something that's extremely overlooked, something that's simple for just anybody to do. Not to take business away from you, but it definitely seems like that's overlooked. Get your spring rates right and then go from there. That's how I've always felt. Like I said, I'm an amateur suspension guy all the way, but that's how I look at it anyway.
Yep. No, that's exactly what you got to do. And so now that brings us back to your air forks. Now the average guy can make a complete suspension setup because you don't have to disassemble a shock to swap shock springs, and you can just set your air pressure in your forks, and you can have that bike dialed in for $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
So
I haven't had anything to do with the air suspension. I haven't even, other than what I've read online about them. Are they? I've heard that they're pretty finicky as far as air pressure. That it doesn't take much of a change at all, and it can really throw off your setup. Is that true? Have you seen that?
That is true. Yep. So you're talking only like about 2 pounds is going to be a complete neck spring rate,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other issue we've kind of seen a little bit is people adjusting so they'll go out and ride. And once that all heats up, now your pressure is going to change, and they're going back down to like their normal pressure, where you got to from the actual working pressure at them. So,
yeah, that's one of the things I was going to comment on, especially around here. This time of the year, we're riding over at Cedar Lake Arena. Guy shows up with his bike in the back of his pickup and walks it into the arena there. You're dealing with some pretty major temperature change there. That has to have just a major effect on your suspension.
Yep, so there you're going to want to be checking it every time before you ride the bike, really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that can be said of a spring suspension too, because now you're dealing with different viscosity and oil with temperatures. So another way to look at it, at least with the air fork, you can change it.
Right. Yep. You can change it. Yep.
Hey, Clayton, how do you know if your springs are not right? I mean, there must be some charts. I know of some charts, I guess, but I mean, is there a simple rule of thumb that guys can use to figure out if they're using the right spring rate?
Yep. So the good rule of thumb is actually you got to check both your static sag and your race sag. So, and they give measurements for that. And if you can't fall between both those measurements, you ain't going to have the correct springs.
Okay. So it's not necessarily, you don't need to look at a chart. You can just do it in your garage and check it out.
Yep. Well, that's going to tell you if it's right or wrong. Then you're going to want to go to your chart to see what what sizes are available and what you'd want to go to, kind of, Yeah. Every bike's different, but it's close to 10 to 15 pounds per spring rate. Yep. So let's say if a guy has a bike set up and he gains 15 pounds, he's going to want to switch his springs really to make it proper again.
Oh.
Yep.
Or a guy could cheap out and instead of buying new springs, he could gain 15 pounds.
Yeah.
I've considered it.
Right.
You need to start drinking beer, Jeff.
Right.
Clayton, how's the new shop treating you?
A new shop is good, yeah. We actually moved a little bit farther north, and we're right off Highway 52 now, so that seems like a smart move.
You got a new shop, huh? Last time I was down there, I went to your old shop, and you were out back in the big garage.
Yep. Yeah, now we got a piece of property and some acreage, and trying to expand a little more.
All right, I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone. Where is the new shop?
We're kind of right between Cousins and Baroda, right off Highway 52.
Oh, okay.
Closer to us.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, closer to the metro.
Have you started dialing in the PW yet?
I haven't got a PW yet. We actually got a good friend that built us a little wooden rocking chair PW for our son. So yeah.
All right, that's good. Well, cool. Well, you want to tell people how they can get a hold of you and all that other fun stuff?
Yeah, you can check us out on the website. That's going to be finetune.com, or else you can always email us. That's finetune@gmail, or the phone number down here is going to be 507-843-3365.
Nice. And we also have a link for you on the Talkin Moto website on the right-hand side. So if you can't find it that way, you can definitely check it out on our website, and it links you right to them. So,
and anybody that comes this way, mention the show, and we'll work you a deal.
Oh, that's right. Nice. Gotta like that.
Yeah. Gotta like that.
I hope I'm eligible for that deal.
Sorry, Jason.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
Oh,
I'm
spent.
I'm kind of out of the loop, unless you want to throw some shocks on a 2007 Ford Focus and smooth out that ride. That's about all I got.
That's about all you got, huh?
If we put some airbags on it and drop her down a little bit.
There you go.
But cool, Clayton. Well, thanks for coming on, and like I said, I'll get something drawn up, and we'll get something on the Facebook page for you, and we'll get these packages out to some people, and
cool.
Hopefully we can get you some business from some people listening.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
See you, Clayton.
Thanks, Clayton.
Bye.
Right on. There he goes.
So we were talking about like Twitter and all that a little bit ago, and I didn't even think about this. I started doing the broadcasting and all that, and so if you're watching now on YouTube, it's got the little display screen that has all the different sponsors flipping through. So Jeff, your brother, throws something on the comments. He's like, "Hey, So you know the live thing says Daytona instead of Detroit, right? So I forgot to switch it. So right now we don't have all the sponsors flipping. I just got the normal one up. So
Matthew had a good suggestion today. He was talking about he wants to get a chat room going while this is going. I don't know how we could make that happen, but
yeah, I think that's a kind of cool. I think we can get there. I think right now our setup we can't, but
well, I'm sure there's got to be. I'm assuming there's software out there for chat room hosting, but
right.
Well, it'd be kind of fun.
We'll look into it. We can look into it. All right, guys, we hit up the commercial and come back and talk some racing.
Sure, why not?
Real good.
All right, here we go. Hey, what is going on, everybody? I just want to say thank you to everyone out there that's been supporting the Talkin Moto podcast. It has been amazing. We have a great group of guys. We have an awesome list of sponsors. So please keep sharing, keep liking, keep spreading the word about the Talkin Moto podcast. And I hope you're enjoying the show. A special thanks to Motokazi.com. Motokazi holds AMA District 23 sanctioned races at both Kellogg and Mankato, as well as hosts the Motokazi Supercross Championship Series, which is all over Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin. They also have organized practice at Kellogg, Jordan, and at Mankato, as well as offer race schools, so you can get all tuned in on all your riding techniques. Make sure to check out Motokazi.com for more details. MB1 Suspensions is the newest sponsor to the Talkin Moto podcast. Based out of Corona, California, they offer engine, suspension, and coating services. If you're into Supercross, Motocross, Supermoto, Freestyle, or Step Up, they'll get you set up. So make sure to contact them today online at mb1suspensions.com. And make sure to tell them that you heard about them from us on the Talkin Moto podcast. Hey, we got Andy and Chad from The Open Mic. It's a weekly comedy podcast, and they talk about anything and everything, and they usually do. I've been on the podcast a few times, and it is a good time for sure. It's Friday nights, 8 p.m. Central. It's available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. There's more information available online at theopenmicpodcast.com. Pro Action by FTM is one of our many great sponsors. FTM offers support to you, the rider, trackside, so when you need it the most, FTM is there for you. Not only do they offer great suspension work, but they also have many other great bike parts and accessories to help you out on the track. So make sure to check them out today at finetune.com. Hello? Jason? Jeff? Anybody?
Hot dog!
Jeff's not back. Jason, you wanna?
He's probably throwing up.
Most likely. We had a few people send us some tweets, so maybe we should talk about the Spring Creek National.
Yeah. Little Twitter talk and some Spring Creek talk. Sure.
So, I think what we're going to do is we have some tickets to give away. So, I believe we're going to do a pair at a time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all you got to do is go onto Twitter and use the hashtag Talkin Moto, and then that's it. So, I think we're going to do from 7. Should we go 7 to 9? Because we're not going to do it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Or should we just, for this first one, just it's open? Anytime.
Let's just, we'll put a deadline on it. Let's say between, what? I don't know. This is probably better off-air talk.
I think we'll just open it up. So anyone for this first round of tickets, just tweet whatever you want. I guess maybe you want to tweet nice things. I guess maybe you want to tweet nice things about the podcast would maybe help.
You know what? I say give us some feedback, Tweet us some feedback and throw in the hashtag Talkin Moto. And, you get yourself in the running for some tickets and let us know what you think about what we're doing. We might take it to heart. We might not. It's our show. We're going to do what we want, whatever you say. But, give us some feedback. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, so and then it's cool. So, it'll be a pair of tickets, get you into the National. It's just for Saturday. So if you're, I don't know. Jason, you guys go down for the whole week, don't you?
We have in the past, yeah.
So, I know I didn't last year. I pretty much came down on Saturday. So these tickets just get you in for Saturday. But yeah, pretty simple. Listen to the show, tweet us, win some tickets. I think that's pretty simple and, save you some money and get you into the races.
Hell yeah. And big thanks to Greta at Spring Creek Motocross for hooking us up. That's awesome. They're jumping on board and helping us out big time. So lots of fun.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time?
Slapping the base.
Big time. Slap at the base.
Sweet. Awesome.
Sorry, guys,
Jeff,
I missed half of that, but
I'm flipping through the pics from Saturday right now.
yeah, I saw him. I didn't see you in there though, clown.
Yeah, I told him that I sent him a comment there on Facebook saying, "Where's the black section?" And it's not. I still couldn't find it. I had to search for it, and I found it. But
Maybe he went back.
if any of you guys don't know Keith McKenna, guy takes some sweet pics. He's got quite the lighting setup. I mean, he had lights all over that place on Saturday and got some sweet pics. So
I'm pretty happy with how mine turned out.
yeah, he's got a couple of me. It actually looks like I know what I'm doing. Scrubbing that step up. I like it a lot.
He got quite the lighting setup. You're right about that, man. He's got a bunch of remote flashes and
And does a really nice job with them too. I mean, there's some really sweet photos.
How so?
that's for those of us who ride, Scott.
Oh man.
It's not our fault you don't ride.
Well, hang on. Let just back up a second. Let me take a look at this. I got this in the mail yesterday, which is this is kind of scary. It says important safety notice, and this notice applies to your vehicle. Gives a nice VIN number, and it has my name and address. My YZFR1YB. Do you know what that means? Is that a crotch rocket?
I don't know.
So apparently, I have a motorcycle out there. So
I thought maybe it was a quad.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
Is that what happened to you, Scott?
I bought a quad, yes.
That being said, we're a little quad bashing here, but I will throw out we are also being given some tickets for the Quad National at Spring Creek Motocross as well, and we'll also be giving those away for you quad aficionados.
And we can keep it anonymous too. You don't get any hate mail.
Nope, we can't.
Did have they had a quad national there before?
Oh yeah.
So this is just like the dirt bike pros. These are quad pros, or I've never seen or been to one, so I have no idea.
As far as I know, that's what that means.
Quads and snowmobiles, to me, are good when everything is on the ground. But when you start getting more than two wheels off the ground on a four-wheeler, I think that's dangerous. But I don't know if that sounds weird coming from a guy that used to ride. But
No, they're way more dangerous than dirt bikes.
I don't know.
The problem with quads are you fall off of them, they find you and run you over. I've never been hit by my own dirt bike.
I'm going to make up
people's.
this statistics, but 97% of quad crashes result in the quad rider being thrown over the handlebars and run over by his own vehicle.
It's true.
I have been thrown off my motorcycle and run over by someone else's vehicle.
I have been run over by my own four-wheeler. I wouldn't designated a quad because it was a utility four-wheeler, but it did run me over when I fell off it. So I am a statistic.
I remember this from this was Elko a long time ago. I think it was, I want to say it was Jeff Bell. I want to say is the name, and I think I was in C, but this was just open practice, and I think he was A. So we come into this corner, and he's right behind me, and I tucked the front wheel right in front of him, and obviously I'm hoping that he didn't want to run me over, but I mean, right in front of him, he just runs into me, and like I'm looking up at him like through his fork tubes. He's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah," but I don't know.
Speaking of getting mowed over, what was the guy, the Brit? I can't think of his name right now.
Coates?
Yeah, Paul Coates. On the start of that, I don't remember what race it is even now, but he just gets rammed into by another bike, and then he does the dance. The dance when you're like stung, you jump up and start dancing because it hurts so bad.
Oh, I don't know how he got up. I thought for sure he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
my wife just texted me and says, "I don't know how every time I look at the clock it says 8:05." And I was just looking at my clock too, thinking, it's 8:05. How convenient.
And one more time, winner.
You're really going to be winning with 52.
Yes. Okay.
52 still beats 805 or 85.
No. Okay, this could be, I don't know if these people listen to the podcast. We're just going to assume that they are.
Everyone does.
Yeah, I know. Like, who else would you listen to on a Monday night at 8 o'clock?
Exactly. We're kind of a big deal.
But I did see a little, it seemed to be getting a little heated on the district page on Facebook. Now, I don't know who this person is. I'm just going to tell you my side of the story, okay?
This could get ugly.
This could get very ugly.
Hang on, I got to strap in here.
I might have to check this out.
So now how I took it is they must have ordered jerseys, got their helmet done up with last year's number. Now, from what I read, their child bumped up a class, and I think they were thinking if they got their stuff in sooner or on time or whatever, they would get to keep last year's number. Well, short story, they didn't get their number or their same number, and now they got all these jerseys and everything else, and it's like they were going back and forth, and I think people were kind of complaining about, we got our stuff in on time, blah, 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 and it's just like, I get you want to get it done, but like to me, it's like, man, you should wait, wait until you get your card and for sure.
Here's my opinion on that. Why do people immediately go to, it was the same with when they had, when the message board was a big deal. Why do they immediately go to Facebook or the social media and bring that up and cause this big, huge commotion about it? When all you'd have to do is call them and say, hey, what happened? I'm sure things could be figured out. Instead, they turn into this big deal by throwing it on Facebook. Now everybody's at each other's throats. To me, it's ridiculous. It's like, come on, people, let's be a little more civilized about this. Yeah, it sucks. I understand you spent a whole bunch of money on this, whatever. I'm pretty sure there's a resolution to it. If you just make the phone call, figure out who you got to talk to, be civilized about it, for crying out loud.
What do you think?
I think that it's... All right, I might have an unpopular opinion about it, and I might piss that person off, but they made a comment about now they have to spend all this unnecessary money on extra jerseys and stuff. Okay, every time I put my name in my jersey, my number on my jersey, I buy it myself for $25 and do it with an iron. You don't have to spend, $40 to have or $50 to have someone else do it. That, to me, seems unnecessary. And there's no rule to say you have to have your name and number on the back of your jerseys.
Exactly. If you want to look at it that way, the whole idea of doing it is completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I just think it doesn't need to be. It can be taken care of in a peaceful, civilized manner, and people just, I don't know. It's just frustrating to me.
Oh, I don't know how you don't know the rules about that either. I mean, you can't. C and B and A have different. They all share the same pool of numbers.
Yeah.
So if you're changing classes, you don't know if someone's got your number. And someone made the comment that they looked at the results from the previous year and didn't see any points. Well,
That
doesn't
doesn't
mean that
matter.
person doesn't have it. I spent 2 or 3 years renewing my number and never raced because I didn't want someone to take it when I did come back.
That's why I could never get 805.
No, I have 85.
Oh, damn. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could see their point. I mean, I guess I did that once before, like, remember when there was so many people that you couldn't have a number. You were a letter, then a number, So I had joined late in the year. So I was C82 was my number.
Well, I think, you know what, if it's such a big deal to everybody and everybody wants to have the same number every year, let's go back to how it's supposed to be. The last 3 digits on your AMA card is supposed to be your number. So
Really?
that's originally how it was done.
I don't want to be 251.
I don't remember what mine is.
It's just I'm with you, Jason, on going on the ARMCA website and blasting them about it like they did something wrong. They just followed the rules, and you're the one who didn't know them. It's not their fault. You didn't know the rules. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They do everything they can to get you aware of the rules. You just have to read the damn rules.
Yeah, and I wanted a number change this year, and I ended up getting it. I think that's sweet. And if I cared that much about it, I would have called ahead of time and said, hey, is this available before I go spend a bunch of money on making changes? Now I changed my number, and I have to go change everything.
Well, that's like I was kind of saying is like I was C82 for I think a year, and then I was like, all right, I applied for the same number, and then, honestly, how I got 937, it was just I think a random number. It wasn't my first or second pick either, And then, I did my helmet, but it was just a vinyl sticker that obviously I made myself. So like when I got my card and I'm like, oh, 930, dang it, But obviously, yeah, it wasn't painted, so it was easy to fix. But I don't know.
I have never had an issue like Shannon is the one who does the numbers, Shannon Rumpke, I believe, and she's awesome. Yeah. You email her, you usually get a response in no time. Last year, I missed the deadline, and I sent her an email and said, hey, I effed up and forgot about the deadline. I want to save my number. Can I get it? And she said, no problem. I mean, obviously, there's a whole slew of people waiting in line to get my number. So
I tried. I got shut down.
So I've been critical of District 23 for different things, but I don't think they do a bad job in that regard at all.
No, and who wants that job? I mean, seriously. I mean, give Shannon some credit.
Oh, yeah.
I just really don't. I don't understand why people just shoot their mouths off and just don't think about it a little bit. One phone call, you could have it straightened out and whatever. I guess I'm probably too easygoing when it comes to that. I want to respond to Matt Klein's Twitter post. He says, I think you guys need some sound effects going again. That was hilarious. I agree with you, Matt. I think it was hilarious. Unfortunately, we have some technical difficulties that we have to work out if we're going to go down that road, because obviously I don't know how to operate things well enough. So we'll get them back, I promise.
Yeah, that was no sound of digital sound effect either.
Jeff's not feeling well tonight.
Here you go, Matt. This one's good for you.
All right, so let's get back to the race, and so we talked about Coates. He getting pretty much. He got drilled right in the back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yowzas.
He's got to have a pretty nice tread mark.
Got some. I couldn't even tell you a tire. 89 Dunlop something. Rop.
I think they were all using MX32s, from my understanding.
Yep, I think they probably were 32s.
Um,
Keith McKenna, I'll be buying this picture from you because this is sweet. Scrub a dub. That's all I can say.
Did he put you online, or did he just email you your pictures?
No, I found him on the website.
Oh, okay.
You have to search. Just search black. You'll find him.
The other thing I noted was Baggett again with a crappy start, both in heat race and I believe in the main event too. I think he finished 6th, and I kind of talked to Jason about this earlier. It's like I would think that can't make Mitch very happy. I would, to me, I would assume that the pro circuit guys, even if they're all in the same heat, I think they all should be, top 4. I don't think that's out of line for those guys. I don't know if that's taken away from the other guys, but I just think 6th place for pro circuit, I think, is not so good.
Well, I thought it was kind of strange. He made such a big deal at Daytona about, it was my starts and I got that fixed now. Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what was the guy that he was working with? It was like no one
Yeah,
anyone
I
had
don't
ever heard
remember
of.
what he was talking about. I think it was Bob Smith or
Yeah,
something
it
like
was
that.
definitely him.
Jack Daniels.
He's the guy.
Oh, Jack Daniels will give you good starts. I should be the whole shot king.
No, it'll give you good sharts.
Oh, well, that's true. And terrible heartburn. Oof. Good stuff.
The other, I guess, notable deal for that one is that Mitchell Olenberg, he got 8th in the heat, so that was good. Kind of a, I guess, former Minnesota guy.
What the hell's ING?
What?
Matt just tweeted, "I love Law and Order." Oh, and Frying Pan was on point. Something about ING. I don't know. Maybe that's the chick that says ain't nobody got time for that.
I guess I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a mystery.
So what do you guys think about Malcolm getting his little fine? I know we kind of talked about it last week, but I don't think he was officially fined on last show.
No, what they take like 4 days to come to that conclusion or something?
I just think we were a little.
No, well, maybe not, but they didn't. I didn't see anything posted about it until a few days later, and it's like, just seems to me odd that they.
Yeah, I think the first I saw anything about it was late on Monday night. I know that nothing was out about the fine before we went on air. We didn't miss it. We're on top of it here at the Talkin Moto podcast.
We have our finger on the pulse.
Exactly, the pulse.
But, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, he's had some. Don't they say you can't? I mean, didn't that whole thing blow up a few years back in '09 when Reed put his hands on Stewart's neck, and they said that you cannot touch another rider like with malevolence or whatever the hell. You can't touch him.
Malevolence.
Let's tune down the big words on this show for one.
Blah, blah, blah.
Tune her down.
All right, let's go back to the 4-letter words.
I'm gonna hold my tongue and try that.
Well, I think the big thing is
everywhere.
is it was a little bit more severe because he's done it before, with was it Cooper Webb? So
Yep.
I just think it's kind of funny, like, so the guy knocks him over, and even the Webb thing, it's like runs over and pushes him.
All right,
I know that's the first thing I do.
my people are telling me ING is hashtagging, but they didn't want to spell it out. So.
Okay.
And my source for that is Matt Klein, and if he's wrong, then
I'm afraid I don't know what we're talking about. Are we talking about investments?
yes, ING, the great portfolio management company.
Hang
on. Keep talking. Whoa.
Why do you have a frying pan next to your computer?
Because that was asked for. That was by request.
We're calling in requests now, huh?
Request for sound effects. Don't make me dig out the flushing toilet.
I think, we just got some weird feedback. We got a figure out what it's coming from.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to play around with that today. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Jason sounds like he's in a studio. He's got a little bit of echo going on. Sounds
Yeah.
very...
I'm actually in a
real.
porta potty. Broadcasting live from the shitbox.
My timing is impeccable. To be honest.
Okay, so
Owen Reese asked for hilarity. He's getting it.
So what else, you guys? Any other takes on Stewart? Good, bad? Don't care. Next.
I guess I think it was necessary. I don't know. To me, they're focusing on the wrong part of it. I mean, yeah, you get off the bike, you go and push a guy. Shouldn't be done, but cripes, he wheelied his bike into Barsha's face, and nothing was even said about that. So I don't know. To me, they kind of got the wrong part, but I guess it's something. I don't know what this probation is, but I guess if he does it again, we'll find out.
All right, I got breaking news here. The ING followed a hashtag, so I was supposed to say #ing.
Oh,
So that's what that means. I am so not hip.
great radio, bro.
I'm out of it.
I seen your girlfriend, Jeff, was back to normal attire for the weekend.
Yeah, I know.
You okay with that?
He sounds so disappointed.
I don't know, man.
You got two. You're eyeing up two of them now, aren't you?
What? Who's the other one?
Jenny.
Oh yeah, I like her a little bit. I like to once in a while. I like to hear podium come out of her mouth.
Podium?
Sometimes she says it like the Minnesotan that she is.
Yeah.
All right, so Stewie wins the heat. I thought was good. I kind of felt like Brayton kind of got, like, he started to get bumped around, and then they just kind of kept bumping him backwards. So I don't know what.
I know he kept taking that stupid line after that long rhythm lane. He kept going inside and rolling the first jump, and I think he was just making some, kind of like I've done it before, where I take the wrong line over and over again, and I keep screwing sections up because of it, and I fixate on it. It looked like he just took some poor line choices. And
How many times in one race have you said, "Don't take that line next lap"? And then the next lap, "Don't take that line next lap."
Yeah, but there's a reason I'm taking it, though. Something leads you to it. It's like, I don't know, it's one of them things where you look at the rock and you hit the rock.
You have
Try not to hit it.
zero creativity.
And I was talking with Jason about this earlier, Jeff. I don't know what your take is on this, but I was watching Josh Hill ride, and just me watching him on TV, it made me tired. So
He looked like he was going fast.
it's just like I don't know if it's baggy gear or just the way he like moves on the bike. I'm like, I don't know.
He's got a lot of body English when he rides the bike. Like you remember in 2010 when Dungey won the title and he was his main competition? I think that's the year. Hill started out the season pretty strong and was in contention for a while until he got hurt. He rode, when he was riding good, that's how he rode. He was just all over the place on the bike.
Yeah.
And, I guess if you can do it, I don't know if you can do it for 20 laps. That seems tiresome, but
Heat race, I was tired.
he had a pretty good go of it, though. Wasn't he up toward the front in the main event?
I don't think he was up near the front. I think
Well,
him and Tickle were 8-9 or 9-10 or something like that.
Well, didn't Tickle finish 6th, though? I think they were. That's what I meant. They were kind of. Where do you consider the front? I mean, anymore it's like top 15 is really good riders. So, obviously, there's a couple that are above the rest, but.
Wait for it. Wrong button. So, Jason, what I don't think we talked about this yet, but we started to. But when they go up that little collarbone and they come back down, I thought they were kind of making a big deal of talking about the guys always going and sticking to the right. I think you said you might have a thought on that.
Well, I think that was just the preferred line. Basically, what I took from it was they weren't able to get through the rhythm section, lay off the jack. They weren't able to get through there clean without, or if they were to go to the left, they were having problems with getting kicked around, and maybe the timing wasn't right for them. So I think that's the reason why, at least in the beginning, everybody was staying to the right. As the night went on, guys were starting to make their way left a little bit more. So I don't know if it was, it kind of looked like an alignment issue. It looked like when you came down the hill, you kind of had to be on that side of the track, and you were kind of going to end up in the middle of the rhythm section.
Right.
Didn't that rhythm lane start with wasn't there like a starter bump on the right and not on the left? I feel like the guys
there was something
the right
there.
Typically tripling into that rhythm lane. They were tripping over that tabletop, and like Roxon was doing a different one. He was on the left, and he was kind of like whooping into the first jump, and then jumping on off the tabletop. And I thought,
yeah, he was just kind of letting his bike soak up that first bump.
Yeah, I kind of thought his line looked faster, but I heard some stuff. About Dungey doing that same line, and they were talking about their ghosting software, and I guess Mathis was the one who was timing it and said it was worth about 0.4 to 0.6 of a second to do the triple into it and then do that rhythm that most of the guys were doing. But Dungey and Roxon said their ghost software said it was about a wash.
Where do we get this ghosting software?
Well, it's got to be just.
I want some.
It's got to be just a fixed camera on one point and then running, overlapping. So you overlay the two video images, and the only thing that changes, I guess, is the obviously the scenery that's not moving doesn't change. So you can see both riders go through the same section.
Yeah.
If you sync it up, you can see, or maybe it's you, just two videos of you going through there, and you overlap them, and you can see which. I remember, I don't know, everyone who's played MX video games. I know you probably haven't, Jason, but.
What's that supposed to mean?
You don't seem like a video game type.
No, you're right.
We used to play Ghost Mode where you could race your best lap. And so you just race yourself, and it was just a somewhat invisible version of yourself. And you could tell from that which way was faster. You could see where you're making up ground, where you're losing ground. It was really, for a video game, it was really cool to be able to see. You could improve your lap times big time because you could figure out what worked. And I'm sure they're using the similar technology where they can watch both sections side by side and see which part's faster. And if you do that on every part of the track, eventually ideally, I guess if you had enough time, I don't know that 10 minutes of free prayer or, 20 minutes of practice is enough time, but I'm sure you could figure out the fastest way around.
That's the thing to me, I guess, is that I don't understand how you get enough information during practice to make that decision. Who's to say that maybe you didn't come in as fast one time as you did the time before or whatever. Seems like there'd be a lot of variables there to say, well, our software proves that this line is faster than this line.
Well,
I guess I don't really believe
think about
that.
The resources that those guys have versus a privateer and how unfair the advantage is. Privateer has maybe a factory's willing to go up and set up several cameras and have several people filming that section and then come back and put it all together, and meanwhile, our local guys are just doing it out of a box van.
Yeah,
pretty big discrepancy between what resources our guys have and them, and that's, obviously it's a game of tenths sometimes out there, and that's where the big factories have an advantage, or the big budgets have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I could see it being more important on outdoor, but even still, the outdoor program now, you don't have any time. They condense the morning practices, and that's your qualifying, and then an LTQ race, and you got to learn a track in basically 15 minutes of practice.
Yeah.
It's crazy. and it's
Yeah,
all
I just don't see how there's enough time. That's not to beat a dead horse, but I just whatever. Somebody obviously knows more than I do.
well, not to mention that of that 10 minutes, the guys are only going fast half the time, if that.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
take a fast lap and then they take a slow lap,
Yep.
which I never understood that really. I mean, I guess maybe they know something I don't. Obviously, I go out and practice thinking, oh, I'm going to go out and learn the track and figure out some lines, and then I just go out there and ride as hard as I can and get tired right away and don't do anything smart
I go out
with practice.
and win practice. I'm a good practicer. I'm a terrible racer.
What'd you guys think about Cole Seeley? I think good heat and then good start in the main too. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future when he does jump up to 450s full time to see if he can back it up. Definitely a good showing for him though.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely helping his stock prices increase. I wouldn't say the same though for someone else who's a light West Coast rider.
Yeah, I
He's
would
not
agree
doing
with
too
that.
great. It was interesting today listening to the
I hope you're not talking
Race
about
Rex
Mushmouth.
podcast. I might be talking about Dean Wilson.
His new nickname is Arm Pump.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know what the heck's going on. You would think he would be okay to do that or to do the 20 laps. But
Well, I don't think it's a 20 lap thing. That's been brought up and kind of beat to death. I don't. He's falling apart after lap 10. So to me, I think it's a combination of the bike. Like I don't know who was saying it. I've listened to so much crap in the last day about this subject, but they're talking about how the 450 is an easy bike to ride, but it's a hard bike to race. And I definitely understand that, having ridden 450s for quite a while, that, yeah, they're a lot of fun to just go out and ride, but when it comes to race time, they just beat the crap out of you. But I also think it has something to do with what he's doing. Maybe if he's hanging on for dear life or if it's something that he's doing during the week or something that he's eating or whatever it is. My opinion still stays the same in that it's a mental thing, that someday he'll get comfortable and it'll just be gone.
what do you think, Jeff?
I'm kind of the opinion that arm pump, there's somewhere in, again with the statistics, I'm going to make some up. I'm going to say it's 64% mental and 40, whatever the difference there is, 46. No, 36. Sorry. I picked 64 because that's what percentage my iPad battery is at. And
60% of the time it works every time.
I've had those days when, it almost never fails when I race. I get some form of arm pump. But there's times when I don't get any. And it's not because I'm in better shape that day, because I didn't do anything different that day. It's just your mental state and the way you ride. And I wish I knew the secret to it, but it's one of them things where if you're, I kind of go back to what I said about when Jesse was sick and he had his best performance. It's like when you let the pressure off yourself, you can actually ride good. And all the times that I've had no arm pump issues, it's usually when I'll go down off the start or something, and I'm basically last at that point, and there's no, at that point there's no expectations. And so once you take that pressure off yourself, it seems like you can ride much better. And, maybe it's he's not breathing right when he gets out there, because that's the big thing. I've read a little bit about how your muscles work, and I understand that if you're not getting enough oxygen into your muscles, they go into anaerobic mode, and then they start using, instead of oxygen, they're using energy from within the muscle, and they create lactic acid, and then that's when you get arm pump.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Woodrow.
I just looked at some stuff recently because I'm trying to figure out how to get better with training and trying to get rid of the arm pump, but it's I thought caffeine would help, and I stopped drinking caffeine for 4 days before riding, hoping to flush it out of my system, and still got arm pump, but I can't say that it was a total failure because I did feel awesome in one of the sessions out there. So
It's true.
it's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, it is tough to say because I mean, obviously, practice isn't an issue. His times are right up there. Granted, that's a 1 lap deal.
Yeah.
But
He won his heat race, didn't he?
yeah, his heats are good, but yeah, like and then mains, it's like halfway through, it's just like he runs out of gas.
Well, and I don't think he's not in shape. I mean, I'm sure he's in very good shape. So
Well, another thing that was brought up today, and I don't like giving other podcasts credit for what they say. I'll probably get in trouble for that, so I'm not going to do it. But they were talking about how strong he is and how Rhino's program promotes a lot of strength, and maybe that's part of the problem. That's one of the things I've heard in the past is that you really don't want a whole lot. I mean, obviously you want some arm strength, but it's not really all that big a deal because in the long run it hurts you more than it helps you.
yeah,
Right.
that's what my problem is. I'm just way too ripped.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Whoa.
I got some massive bones in my arms.
I thought that cutting that huge gash in the side of my arm might help the arm pump, but it didn't really do much.
No.
If you want to see something gross, Scott, look at my Facebook photos.
Yeah, would you try to amputate your arm?
Sorta.
He tried to make a lady part out of his arm.
Hey, I was pretty successful at that.
You were.
How many stitches?
I thought
was
you were
that
sending me dirty pictures.
Like 26 or something.
Nice. What did you think of was that Weston Pike when he weren't they calling that kind of like a wall jump after they went across the start and they do that left-hander and it looked like he kind of just lost traction with the front wheel and pretty much had to bail off his bike. That was good to see him, I guess. I don't know if he got hurt on it. It didn't look like it, but
No, I think he was all right. I thought it was hilarious that he was wearing the leprechaun hat when it happened, and then the leprechaun hat went away the rest of the night. You never saw it again.
That guy had a tough night because he was just coming back from a back injury, and then he
Yeah.
rode every race. He had to get through the LCQ, so just a tough night. I'm sure that was way more track time than he wanted.
What something must have happened in the semi too, and I know Short won, but I had written down. This was their poll that they had. Do you like the more aggressive style of racing?
Ooh, huge topic. I do.
Great
I
poll.
think it's awesome. I don't know that I agree. Everybody's bringing it up like it's this new thing. It never happens, and it's such a big thing now. I don't know if I agree with that. I think we're paying more attention to it because it's been brought up this year, and fines have been handed out and that. I don't know that it's any more prevalent than it has been in the past years. At a track like Detroit, is totally necessary. There wasn't a whole lot of options for passing on that track, so you have to block pass, and if you take a guy out doing it, so be it.
Yeah, I would say, like the Alessi thing, I would say that would, that's a little on the aggressive side.
No, for sure, but it's not like that. It's not like that's never been done before. It's nothing new.
Right. But then, this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit to the LCQ when, Cody Gilmore kind of jumps in on that inside, and then from what I saw, it almost looked like that guy kind of cut the corner, and then Cody went on the inside, and then that guy kind of ran into him. Like, to me, that's aggressive, but I don't think that's bad. I don't mind that, I guess
it's totally necessary in my opinion.
Like the stuff that I'm not a huge fan of, and I think I've said this before, but when the guys cut the whole corner off to go tee a guy up, What?
Oh, nothing.
Oh,
Sorry, I fell asleep. I've heard that before.
I know. See? All right. That's all I got. That's my 2 cents on that topic.
Hey, we'd have a whole lot less to talk about if guys didn't do that.
Exactly.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I guess I think it's kind of fun when, like that whole deal with Barsha and Roxon earlier in the year. I loved it that Roxon said he was going to come out and take Barsha down, or Barsha, he owed one to Barsha or something. That was fun. Because then you're sitting there watching it. You're waiting for the fireworks to come back again. So I kind of like the little, this guy took me out, so I'm going to get him back. And I don't mind a little bit of intentional takeouts. I think it's kind of fun, as long as it's all, done in the corners and no one's getting hurt. Like the whole thing with Alessi, how he could have seriously injured Brock. Well, I mean, it wasn't a corner. There's a lot worse places he could have done something stupid like that. But intentional takeouts are not new at all. Obviously, there's a lot of famous ones out there, and I think it's kind of fun when you see a guy just lose his mind out there because he's super pissed and goes
Just
out there and
Gives us something to talk about.
just doesn't even try to turn. Just tease him up.
I know what you're trying to go back to, though, Scotty. You're going back to that Reed Stewart Atlanta 2011, and to me, that was a whole different deal. That's for the lead. That was like a pickup pass. Knock the guy down and hope you can get on your bike faster than he can.
I'm thinking what maybe Malcolm should do is, maybe next time instead of trying to push them, maybe just get up and stomp on their header pipe or something.
Why don't you just sit on the bike? I mean, it almost worked for Alessi back in the day.
I'm going to do that next time I crash or something. I'm going to totally go over there and just hit their kill switch.
I'm gonna start taking my helmet off and throwing it at people.
And then get on your bike and take off.
I've only been involved, I think only one time I wanted to fight someone at a track when I got taken out. And I was riding Jason's bike, and I got taken out by some D-bag and broke your foot peg, of course, because that's what I do.
Of course, I'm the one that had to pay for that incident.
I got up, and I immediately went toward him, and then I realized he was, I'm like, I'm going to still beat him. So then I decided not to go fight him, and I got on the bike and went. But I was very close to taking a swing at him.
I had a race over a Motokazi Supercross race over in Neilsville, Wisconsin. I was there with the track crew. I'm working for Motokazi, and I'm racing. And I don't remember what class it was. I just did it because it was track time. I was going to go ride. It was fun. I didn't care. We ended up with 250A. And sure enough, I pull like a really nice hole shot, and I'm where I do not belong. And I end up just completely cleaning out this A rider. It wasn't on purpose. It was a lack of experience on my part. And we both go down. And before I can even try to get up, this guy has the mouthpiece of my helmet. He's picking me up by it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to die. Luckily, I think it was Jake Colson comes over. Hey, no fighting. Like Jake could hurt a fly. He's 5 feet tall.
He said you should have been like, hey, you're A class, buddy. You should be ahead of me. Oh man, well, that's not me. That was this was a long time ago. It was, I think, is it Joe Mueller and is it Joe? And
yeah.
I want to say it was Nate Broughton, I think. And Nate was A, Joe was B, I think, and kind of did the same thing. And I think Joey worked him over pretty good for a while. I don't remember. I think something happened. Either one of them must have crashed. I want to think Nate might have crashed out. But I remember that. That was pretty funny. Shoot, Jason, do you want to do the Motokazi stuff again?
Well, just a reminder to everybody, the Motokazi preseason sale still on, goes through March 21st. We kind of went through the whole spiel last week. I don't know that we need to go through it again, but get out there, get your entries and your tickets and everything ahead of time. Get it done. I'm writing myself a reminder to do it right now because I haven't done it yet.
Is that sponsorship thing still available too?
Yes.
Certainly is.
All right.
Yep.
I got to do that too.
Yeah, and then that's...
And it takes longer than 8 minutes if you put time into it, do it like you should do it. But it's definitely worth it.
Yep, and that goes through the Team Motokazi, which Jason is talking about. It's goes till March 31st. And 3 different levels for the sponsorship. April 10th, they'll put the team up on the website. So, yeah, take the time, fill everything out, and, yeah, go do it. Especially if you're already racing, save yourself some money and get on the team and all that. So, more information, it's all online at motokazi.com. And just like with Clayton, with the FTM, links on our homepage as well. So either go right to there, or if you're on talkinmoto.com, you can click on it there too.
Yep. Get out there, get yourself all applied, and hopefully join the team with some cool people. It's always a good time.
All right. So,
Motokazi flag flown.
sweet. Now, should we keep talking racing, or do we want to talk some fantasy motocross?
Well, I want to bring this up first while we're still on the subject of racing. Ken Roxon, okay, another DNF for him this week. Seemed like a pretty simple deal. Probably shouldn't have caused a DNF. At least knowing what I know now. Kids out there, if you get a rock stuck in your brake caliper, roll the bike backwards. It's probably going to come out, and then you can continue riding.
Why don't you just keep starting the bike and driving like 5 feet at a time? And then look down, and then do it again. And
Make sure you kick it at least once or twice.
I was trying to figure out what happened. It seemed like it was. It's so weird watching those KTM's with electric start.
Yeah.
Dang dirt bikes.
It's unnecessary, and it should not be allowed.
Yeah. I kind of like it.
Yeah, you would.
I tipped over at the sandbox and kicking my bike. Or no, I killed it, I guess, this time. But kicking my bike just about pretty much ruined my practice session because I was out of breath by the time I was done kicking the stupid thing.
Yeah, but what did you learn from that?
Pull the hot start.
Exactly.
Buy a Honda.
Well, a Honda's not going to make me not kill it in the corner.
You'd be surprised. Recluse.
I guess we
They're
can.
not a sponsor. Don't talk about them.
We can just keep hitting up the racing. I guess my 2 cents is pretty much after the heat races and semis and LCQs. I thought it was kind of boring, especially in the 250s. You know, it's like super bad with the whole shot or whatever, first or second. Davalos was right behind him, and Baggett with another crappy start. And it's happened, I don't even know how many times this year already, but it was like we were watching another race again, you know, same scenario, even down to Davalos crashing, even though I thought this crash was, I don't know that none of them are his fault, but like it just seemed a little different. It almost looked like as soon as he landed off that jump that the front end just kind of slid out on him. Like it was sliding out before he even got to the corner, wasn't it?
That crappy dirt.
It was a mental mistake.
Yeah,
according to Fro. Everything's a mental mistake.
But I was just like, you got to be kidding.
Me being on this podcast is a mental mistake, if you ask Fro. On Scott's part.
It was a very poor judgment call there.
And I don't know if this is good or bad, but like obviously I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I would like to see Superbad. One, I hope he knows we call him Superbad. I would like to see him get a bad start. So
I don't know.
Scotty, did you see that crash that Davalos had in practice?
yeah, when he tried to do like a nose manual on that tabletop.
That dude is so lucky he was racing that night. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and then he was kicking ass.
Yep.
Won his heat. I mean,
I thought it was pretty funny that our buddy, I'm going to refer to him now, was talking today about it was typical Davalos again because he won another heat race and then didn't do anything in the main. And it was brought up that, well, he did have a pretty horrific practice crash, which he did. I can't believe the guy was racing. I figured he was done. But he was talking about how, well, he went out after that and won the heat race, so obviously was fine. I don't necessarily agree with that. Heat races are like taking a leak to Martin Davalos. So, I think there's definitely something to that. He was probably hurting pretty bad, even though he wasn't showing it.
I take that dude, our little buddy. He's not really little, but our buddy. I take his mean words. I call them mean. I mean, I don't know. They're just negative words toward Davalos, as what he really wants to see is Davalos succeed because he's got so much potential. And I think he's just disappointed that it doesn't doesn't happen for him. But
well, I understand that, and maybe I feel the same way a little bit, but just the way he puts it, it's like, seriously, give the guy a break.
Like, winning a heat race and getting third doesn't mean anything, evidently.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I even said it too. I said he didn't do anything in the main, and obviously he did. So
yeah. Did he get third, or was it? No, it wasn't even third, was it?
No, he wasn't on the podium, I don't think.
Well, he's 17 back now, so the championship's pretty much, kind of. I'm with Scotty. I want to see Superbad goof it up and tighten up the points.
Well, I agree. I'd like to see him come from mid-pack anyway, but I don't think that's going to affect him. I think he's so on point and has so much confidence right now that even if that happens, he's just going to go out there, ride the track, hit his marks, and he's going to be okay. I think he's beyond the point of, oh crap, I had a terrible start. Now I'm going to go out and make rookie mistakes. I don't see that coming out of him.
Do you really think of him as a rookie? Even though, obviously it's his actual first year in Supercross, but this dude's been in the spotlight for so long, and he's been out with the top guys for so long that this is probably just like, a different venue, but business as usual for him.
Yeah, I'm reading today that he has 11 Loretta Lynn's titles. I mean, I agree. I think he's at the point now where I don't think he's surprised at all by what he's doing. I think he expects to be where he is. We don't see that because he handles it so well. He's not a cocky guy. He's taking it all in stride. So we don't see that he thinks he's where he should be and that he's just expecting to win. But I think in his mind, this is what he's been dreaming of his whole life, and this is what he expected to come here to do. So I don't see him being thrown by a bad start.
Is this where I disagree?
Yep.
I'm not saying that if he gets a bad start that he can't work his way up, but we haven't seen him get a bad start, Well,
I understand, and it would definitely, from an entertainment standpoint, if this keeps going on, we're all going to be sick of him in a very short amount of time. But for right now, he's a new guy, and he's a lot of fun to watch.
I'm going to make fun of him right now. I don't think we'll ever see a GoPro on that kid's head. And if you watch him ride, you'll see why.
It's because his head flops all over the place.
It's like he's always got it crooked.
It's a bobblehead.
I just noticed that this last weekend. I'm like,
he's got all those teeth in his mouth. He's top heavy.
Okay. I don't know. That's just what I'm like. Just notice him, and he always rides with his head kind of cocked to the side. Shoot. All right. So he wins. That's cool. Vogel second, Baggett. He gets up to third.
Chain smoker Bogle. I shouldn't say that. I love the guy. I think it's awesome that he's doing so well, but man, I don't know if he smokes a pack of heaters before he goes up on the podium or what, but oh boy.
Are we in trouble? Are we getting told to shut up?
No. That's just Matt chiming in because he really wants to be part of this podcast, but He has to do it via text.
We have to get him on, I guess.
Yeah.
We could probably arrange that. I know his phone number.
He corrected me too. Roxon ended up with a 20th. He did not DNF. Sorry.
I think Schmidt. That's which one am I on?
I don't know.
I don't even know. Yeah, Roxon. He got 20th. I just can't read. That's okay.
Matt wanted me to tell you guys that Superbad didn't race any amateur races on a big bike except for the Monster Cup.
Nice.
So even more impressive. I kind of like him, but yeah, like Jason says, if he keeps winning and winning and winning, I'll probably get tired of seeing him win. But as of right now, I like him. It's kind of cool. He might be kind of the next dude. You know what I mean? The next.
I think he is the next dude.
Guy.
But I think there's some amateurs out there coming up that'll give him a run for his money too.
Yeah, I don't hate him yet. I just it's boring to watch when two guys get the whole, first and second, and then it's pretty much over. Because who else has, and I don't want to take anything from any of the other guys, but who else has the speed to run those guys down if they're 1-2?
Yeah.
Bogle was the only one that I saw that looked like he was gaining on Superbad pretty good there at the end, but otherwise we didn't really see much racing. The only pass that I could remember was the Davalos falling and losing a bunch of spots there.
Yeah.
But how much passing was there otherwise? It was follow the leader.
No.
Ooh, Matt brought up another good point. He wonders how Cincerillo was able to get a pro license without going through the process, but didn't he get in before it?
Yeah, I think he was grandfathered in.
But how does that, I wonder how that works when you're on a Super Mini.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
that
really control
just...
points.
When did they start that?
Well, before, when you had to get a Supercross license, or maybe maybe you didn't need a pro license for the Nationals or something, I don't know. Because he obviously went to a few Nationals last year.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Andy that told me that.
I think when you have 11 Loretta Lynn's titles, you're in.
That could be what it is.
I don't think we're going to send a guy like that through the Ricky Carmichael road to Supercross.
But see,
I don't think anyone's getting around it though now.
Yeah, I think now
I don't think
gotta
you can.
Go. Yeah,
I know, but it's stupid.
I think when he did it or had to, I think you could. I don't want to say protest it, but I thought you could. Should we say a gray area? Would that fall under this case?
Yeah,
I think there's a few. There's a little bit of gray area in the AMA's rule book.
I'm pretty sure Pro Circuit can probably get anybody out of that if they really want to.
Which is not cool.
No, but it's the politics, and everybody knows it's there. It's just nobody talks about it.
Hey Scott, what's a harsh tag?
What?
What's a harsh tag?
That's when you hashtag in all caps.
Oh man, see, I'm dropping
Then
the
it's
ball
harsh.
bad today.
That's funny.
Oh, now I get Caleb's thing.
Boy.
Yeah.
Jeff, I got to bring this guy up because this is hilarious. Nobody else is going to get this, but we're at Cedar Lake on Saturday, and there's this, it had to be half the country of Canada was there. And there's this guy with him who I didn't realize at the time because I never watched the guy ride. He was either out in vet or out in C practice. And there's this picture that Keith has of him here. He's got full-on bark busters going on this completely blacked out, I think it's a CR 250. I'm guessing. I'm not really good at picking that out. But he's got nothing on the bike except for some stickers. He's got a GoPro on the side of his helmet, but he's riding with no gloves.
Well, he's got bark busters, dude. What do you need gloves for?
He doesn't need gloves, I guess. You got a $300 GoPro sitting there and no gloves.
Hey, I've said it before. I can ride without gloves on. It doesn't bother me a bit.
Well,
There's been times when I actually preferred it back in my younger days.
Owen just sent the flyer for the ATV National. So
Nice.
We'll get that on the website, and that's actually before the dirt bike. That's June 26th or 28th.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
28th. Yep.
So, let's see here. I guess the only other cool thing for 450s, I thought that was cool that Shorty finished 4th. That has to be a season best for him. I guess I can't confirm.
Yeah, with a little bit of controversy.
Why?
Oh, he stirred the pot. I don't remember who he took out, but supposedly he took somebody out, and there's some controversy there. I don't remember what it was all about.
I don't know.
Stop bringing stuff up when you don't know what you're talking about. Ah.
I just thought it was cool, and I don't know. I had it written down.
And now there's a horse on the show.
If it was Barsha and I don't know if it was Seeley. They were like playing this Mickey Mouse game out there. I don't know. Cutting each other off.
I like Mickey Mouse games.
Oh, man. You know Mickey Mouse.
Ain't nobody got time for this.
Was that Jeff?
I don't remember because I haven't been paying attention. But did we talk about? Yeah, we talked about Talking Moto podcast member Jesse Wentland.
Not well. You can
Probably.
let her
His
bump.
9th place heat race finish. I was just gonna bring up the fact. Does anybody else see maybe a little bit of a rivalry there with Vince Freeze and him? I mean, it seems like they find each other on the track pretty consistently, especially in heat races.
I was just glad Freeze didn't say ice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What was I thinking?
I wonder if they hang together because isn't Freeze hanging at Club MX? And I'm not sure if Jesse's
I
ever
don't
there.
think
but
Jesse's ever there.
No.
That seems like it'd be a good ship.
The Racer X poll right now is pick your favorite 250 Supercross East region privateer, 2-digit privateer. I voted for the 88.
He's in there. Well, I think everyone who's listening should go vote for the 88.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Alex, but I feel like I know Jesse a little better.
Is Alex considered a privateer?
He's on the list.
Okay.
Maybe if you're out of a
Um,
giant semi. Do they got a semi?
Oh yeah. Well, Rock River's got they used to have like 20 bikes.
Well, Jason, you were talking about Zimmer. He's got you want to tell that little story? Or what?
Yeah, Ryan Zimmer. For those who don't remember, at Daytona he was involved in the drag race to the finish line where they both tried to jump to the moon. But kind of a cool little background on him on Racer X this week. Basically, this dude is not your typical Supercross rider. He works at least 40 hours a week, does not ride during the week. He runs a jackhammer. That's his workout routine. Just kind of a cool backstory on him to hear about what he actually has to go through to go to the races. I'm going to try to get in touch with the guy, see if we can get him on the show. I think it'd be sweet.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of became a fan. Had a good heat race, ended up 7th in Heat 1 in the lights class, and unfortunately didn't have such good luck in the main, but kind of a cool guy to watch because that's kind of a cool story, I think. It's just him and his dad going at it every week, and has to work for it. Got some local sponsors that are backing him up, and kind of a cool deal.
Nice. I guess the other thing we got now, Jesse, he's gonna be going a little bit further north this summer. Jason kind of brought it up toward the end of last week's show, but he got a ride on the MX 101 Yamaha to do the Canadian Nationals. I think this is a weird name, but the Rockstar Energy Drink National MX Series.
Eh?
Gonna ride some dirt bikes, eh?
Yeah.
Those Canadians that were at the sandbox were saying A about every third word.
They were. It was pretty funny. I think that's awesome for Jesse. I can really see good things for him going back up there this year. He has, at least to my knowledge, I hope I'm right, but he has a couple of wins up there. And I think on a good piece of equipment, he has a real shot to go up there and compete for a championship. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm stoked for Jesse.
There's going to be some stuff on him. I think they're going to do some interviews on Supercross Online and maybe Racer X with him talking about the deal in Toronto this week.
Yep.
There should be some information out there.
I mean, I think it's probably because they heard about him when he was on the Talkin Moto podcast.
Well, that would be my guess. I mean, Jesse, we started your career. Okay, you started your career. We helped it along.
So
I think what's the commission rate usually for agents? I think that's kind of what we did here, right? Facilitate that contract.
It's like
Yep.
35%, right?
At least
35 apiece, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So he's going to owe us
Yeah.
a little bit of money when this is all done.
Nice. Okay.
And Jeff, if you want to see this ridiculous track map of how it's supposed to be, it's still up on Racer X right now. And there's a picture of how that section was supposed to be. And it is terrible.
Did it go like this?
I believe that is the sound it would have made.
I wish the arrow had sound effects.
I missed the scorpion whip. What happened to the arrow doing
I
the
don't
scorpion
know.
whip? Bring it back.
Yeah, and they need to start listening. The whip with the arrow, the over-under bridge. I mean, I don't see... Why not?
Why is it an arrow? Does anyone race arrows? I don't get that.
I've been trying to find an arrow to race because it seems like it's quite an advantage, but
The lap
rides-
times the arrow puts down are insane.
yeah, it rides so smooth.
I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but Stewart is now tied for, 48 Supercross wins with RC.
Yep.
And I thought it was kind of neat. I guess it's like almost the same amount of races. Whoa. But almost the same amount of races as RC had, which...
Yeah, like almost to the race. I mean, it's almost creepy.
I'm not going to lie. I wish he would have stuck around a little bit more. But it is what it is.
I'm
Carmichael?
glad he's gone.
Yep. I think he had a few more left.
I was tired of him winning.
I wish he'd go sit on the front porch somewhere. Stop shoving Ricky down our throats.
Whoa. Next topic. All right. So there's a few other things I guess I got, and Jeff, how did you do on the fantasy picks this week?
I got 1 and 2.
Nice.
I picked Stewart and Villapoto, and I think I figured on Roxon getting third, but when he was out, I had Dungy fourth, which I wish Barsha could have got him. And then, yeah, I don't know. It was looking like if the stars aligned, it could come together pretty well. But I foolishly picked Ivan Tedesco for 12th place, even though he was not racing. So
That was a bad choice, Jeff. Yeah, I had Stewart, RV, Dungy, Roxon, Wilson, and Grant. So I got 3 out of the 6. Jason, did you pick any this week?
I did. I got all 6.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice job.
Good week for me.
So Jeff,
I got 2. I don't remember who I got though. So.
All right, so Jeff, I checked and I did a little research to see what, I was like, man, 67 points is what I got. I'm like, I didn't think I would win, but I thought that was, a decent score. So the guy that won got 110 points. Okay. Have you followed any of this yet? Or paid any attention?
That was me, just so you know.
What?
no, I didn't know.
Oh, that was you that got 110? Okay, so Got Teeth is the winner of this
Is that
round.
Antonio Caroli?
That is not nice, Jeff. I thought it was kind of odd. I mean, that's a good score. He picked his picks on Sunday, March 9th. So a week ahead. I don't know.
That ain't bad. Well, what is there like? There's like 18,000 people in this thing.
I don't know. How in the hell can you pick that early? And I don't know. Something's fishy. Something's fishy. That's all I gotta say. Uh-oh. Are you guys still with me? What happened?
I don't know what happened to Jason. I'm still here. I was just trying to get you to freak out, though.
Oh. I don't know. I thought that was pretty crazy.
Well, you got to figure there's going to be someone that picks most of them almost every time, and then it's going to boil down to who picks them soonest. But
that's early.
what if you picked what if you put together like 20 email addresses?
Well, that's what I was.
20 logins, and
Right.
then you could at least pick a combination, and you'd have pretty good odds of winning, I should say.
Right. Say, I don't pick mine until after practice, Sometimes I even pick, just go off of qualifying times,
Well, so he got them all? Is that what you said? He got them all right?
He got 110 points. I guess I didn't add them up if that's what 110 is. I'm assuming it must be.
25 and 25 for first in the wild card, and then it's 22 and 20 and
So
he might have got like all but the wild card, maybe.
I don't know.
So I would get close.
Pretty nice though. So
What else do you got on your notebook?
Well, the other thing I did this weekend, and it was kind of fun. I had a photographer yell at me, but she turned out to be pretty cool. Our buddy Travis that we had on earlier.
Yep.
He was racing snowcross, so the final round of the snowcross was in Lake Geneva. So it's 45 minutes from where I'm at. So I went down there Sunday morning and kind of hung out with him and his family and got into the pits. And so I brought my camera with. I'm like, all right, I'll try to snap some photos. And there was this, what I think is cool is the ISOC deal. They stream everything online. So, I mean, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I had it at work. I had it up on the screen and was watching it. And they had this thing on this lady that was doing a photography. And I actually ran into her down there on Sunday. So I was just kind of BSing with her about the cameras and stuff. And, she said she worked for Racer X and does the Monster Energy Cup. And she's going to Vegas to shoot, all the pictures and blah, blah, blah. And, well, they have like a manager's tower. So, which obviously I didn't have credentials to get up there. But I used my buddy's dad's credentials to get up there and start taking some photos. And I don't think she didn't like that too well, but
How'd she find out?
cause she walked right by me. she's like, a pit pass doesn't get you up here. And I said, oh yeah, I got this. And she's like, well, where'd you get that from? And then, but it's all right. And I ended up, it was like a good spot to watch, but just with my camera and the lens that I have, it wasn't the greatest for me for taking photos. So, plus there's the big stand, and then obviously like when the pros are out there, all those guys got their crew guys up there, so it's tough to really move around anyway. So I ended up just kind of hanging out near the finish line on the fence line. They got a bunch of really good pictures there. But and then she ended up walking by again, and she's like, hey, I didn't mean to kind of, be kind of crabby, blah, blah, blah. She's just like, I overlook all the photographers and this and that. And I was like, hey, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. And that was kind of it. So
how hard was it to Photoshop to get rid of all that snow and snowmobiles and Photoshop dirt and dirt bikes under those guys?
That's gonna take some work. A little
Yeah.
work. But it was like, I'm a little jealous sometimes of like the snowcross guys because they can get away, I think, with so much more than like a dirt bike guy can. It's like they had a pretty decent tabletop for the finish line, and then like they'd land, and like the pro guys, the pro light guys were, they could actually kind of double like the whoops section. And this guy comes around, and I don't know if he just whiskey throttled it on this snowmobile, but like he pretty much jumps and he lands right in the face of the first whoop. And they're a big whoop, it's not like a little dirt bike whoop,
Yeah.
And he just augers in, and it's just like, I think his arm fell off, but I mean, that was it. He like shook his head, and then he,
His arm fell off?
yeah, clean up right at the shoulder.
Oh, I should go to these snowmobile races more often.
But it was like, I ran across the track to get to that manager's tower, and it was, pretty fluffy, probably knee deep snow. So, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I guess in Wisconsin you got to do something to, pass the time.
Yeah,
What happened to Jason?
I don't know.
I'm here.
Oh,
Working overtime.
Yes, I'm working overtime.
You got anything else, buddy?
Hot dog. That's about it.
So what do you think's gonna happen this weekend? They're already should we say pre-complaining about the soil on what they're gonna run into?
I'm sure it'll be a ruddy mess.
What do you expect? I mean, what is there to say that hasn't already been said? I say we save it for next week.
It's the same thing we're going to encounter down at Cahokia.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be like riding on a marshmallow-infested sponge.
Hell yeah. I think that's it, boys. I think we.
Hey, Jason, are we? I don't know if you want to talk about it on here or not, but are we going to try to plan some sort of Minnesota exodus to somewhere south?
That's my plan.
Okay.
Is to try to get some people together and head south.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was what we were up to. So, what is it again on Facebook? The site or the group to talk about it?
The group is Northland MX. Anybody who's not a member, just ask me or whatever. I don't know how you join groups on Facebook, but it's there.
Is it a private group?
I'm pretty sure I left it so anybody can become a member.
Yeah, we should definitely try to get something going down there. I don't know when. I don't know if you have any ability to get time off work. Probably not, but we do a weekend.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking is just
Be
for a
tons
day.
of fun to get all the guys from up here down there, and
Throw some
invade the
whipper
track.
tails.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, boys, that's it. Let's wrap it up. I think we went. I don't know. Pretty good show, I thought.
Yeah.
So, we will.
Thanks to Clayton for coming on. I'll get you my suspension ASAP.
Nice.
I think I'm at Springs. That was a good guest. I think I hope everyone enjoyed that. There's a lot of good technical information.
Yeah, like
I hope everybody got as much out of it as I did. If not, if you were bored by it, I'm sorry, but I think there's some good stuff there.
well, like the way you were kind of making it sound, Jason. It was kind of like, yeah, you could do some of it yourself, but then it was kind of like when Clayton was talking, and hopefully this will come out right, but like the more he's talking about it, and maybe like not that it's really in depth, but there's just a lot going on. For me personally, I would just give it to him and have him take care of it.
Oh yeah, if you don't have the patience to try to kind of figure it out, I definitely don't recommend digging into it.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week. I think we'll keep going with the live stuff. I think it's working pretty good, And yeah, so if you guys wanna get in on the tickets for the Nationals, use the hashtag Talkin Moto. I'll put something up either tonight yet or tomorrow for Clayton's giveaways. I think that's pretty sweet deal, and we'll do that giveaway will be on Facebook. And that's it. You guys got anything else?
I think that'll do it.
Sweet.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right,
Sweet
guys.
Brown does.
Thanks to all the sponsors. We got MB1, Fine Tune Motorsports, Motokazi, Hardline MX, Minnesota District 23, Spring Creek MX Park, the Bicycle Works, the Damn Bait Shop, the Open Mic Pipe. Whoa. Whoa. We've been talking too long. The Open Mic Podcast.
Scott just had a stroke.
Team J Law Racing and SKD. That's it. It's time for some lunch and supper, whatever you call it.
Stay classy, hoseheads.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Later.